Hi, my name is Thomas Niemann. I'm a retired Army veteran of 20 years service, and I was also then went to work in the corporate world and retired a second time from Ford Motor Company. I've been volunteering for Warriors in Quiet Waters Foundation since the fall of 2017. I've always had it kind of on my heart that service was a part of what we are and what we need to be. I was the black sheep of the family. Both of my grandfathers served in the Navy. My father served in the Navy. What did I do? I joined the Army. I really enjoyed the notion of nation and that we had an obligation to be a part of this country. Entered active duty in 1979, retired in 1999. I fortunately never faced harm's way. I learned that from our warriors right now, there's a phrase called embracing the suck. At the time we didn't have that, but since then, I realized that those difficult times when I was cold, wet, hungry, tired, freezing, that I was doing it with others who were experiencing the same thing. And then when I thought about why we were doing it, it's what made it worth going through all of it. My father taught all 7 of us the notion of service. Not only was it serving each other and helping out, because 7 kids is a handful for anybody, but also then the part of the community that the family played, we had a responsibility to give back to, not only to take from the community, which gave us much, but also then to give back. So even as a young child, I would get dragged off to something called the Kiwanis Club, and they had every Saturday a garage sale, and they had a building that they owned and so forth. But in the intervening times when they would receive contributions, these things sometimes needed to be fixed, and my father was very good at fixing things, and he would drag the kids along so that they would understand what it meant to give up your time and of yourself for the benefit of others. So right away we saw and were taught and ingrained the notion that we will get something out of giving something to others, and community service was the way to do that. At Warriors in Quiet Waters, I'm kind of the jack of all and master of none. I have done everything from being a team leader to assistant team leader. I've been a companion. I've been a driver. I've been somebody who has sorted inventory to prepare the equipment to get ready for the warriors when they are going to arrive and make sure everything's complete. I even had the distinction of sorting 10,000 hand-tied flies that I think were all in a fur ball. I have stuffed envelopes. I have parked cars. I have kept track of bids at warrior fundraising events. The notion of service has a lot to do, I think, with how a person sees themselves. So if you feel good enough to give yourself in service of another, that very much lends itself to an individual self-esteem, both on the giving end and the receiving end. And that builds up a character on both sides of that equation. I love everything about fly fishing. I love that the gear, I love the environment, and I love especially where wild trout live. The very first FX I was on was in the fall of 2017. I was a companion to a warrior, but he was closed. And I already knew that even in my 20 years of service compared to his couple years of service, this young man had experienced things I had never experienced, and I was nervous as hell. And I had to keep reminding myself, this isn't about me, this is about him. And I didn't know what to do because I felt like we weren't getting through. Well, fortunately, you're not alone in this endeavor. In this particular instance, it was a remarkable guide. It was like watching a bloom open to the sunshine because of this guide's ability to relate how this coping mechanism of fishing in Montana could help him deal with the demons he was struggling with inside. He didn't talk about them, and you couldn't get him to talk about them. He didn't try to. You just let him be, and then you tried to do things with him. My father died this past February. He was 95, and the Lord was truly gentle with him. And I have, to this day, a voicemail from him telling me how proud he was of me, how proud he was of my service to the nation, and how proud he was of me from my fatherhood, and how proud he was for the things I was continuing to do. Because this is a man who served that Kiwanis Club for 60 years. For 60 years of his life, he was an active member of this organization that did nothing but give to the community, and he never asked anything in return. And I know he got something out of it, and I know part of what he got out of it was the example and the lesson he was able to share with his children. To the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and guardians, I guess we need to say that now. At some point, when you get to my age, and that's with enough gray hair on the side of your head, they call it white sidewalls, you're going to understand and appreciate the value and depth of what you did. When people thank you for your service and you tell them, thank you for thanking me, you're going to get a greater appreciation as you go through time and realize how few people are doing what you have done.